Alright, so just finished my trip to Key West and back, and just want to talk a little bit about sort of what I learned and sort of what I had set up for the bike. So one thing is, you obviously can never have enough storage space. So I picked up these two bags, the Nelson Rig tank bag and the Nelson Rig tail bag, and I used this bag to keep all my stuff I had to get access to, you know, like my batteries and my cell phone and my iPad and stuff like that, things that I needed to have access to kind of on a, I don't know, a few hour basis. And it worked out okay. I actually was kind of skeptical about using these tie downs to keep it, but I just undid two, moved it to the side, filled up with gas every few hundred miles, and it worked out really well. And then the rear tank bag, I used to also I bought a little DJI Spark to take on the trip, and I kept the Spark and all the stuff in that and some other things. And the other thing that I did is I picked up this Goal Zero solar panel, and the idea was you plug your plug in here, and it runs into the bag, and it actually worked out pretty well. I was kind of surprised. It's small, but when you're taking an all-day trip in the sun, it works out well. So that allowed me to put some extra batteries in here and kind of charge those and charge any electronics while I was riding. So I'm real pleased with that. It worked out really well. Glad I did it. I just basically, it's Velcroed. It's Velcroed to the, there's a couple of strips here, a strip in the middle and a strip on the other end. And then, I just kind of strung these across there just to kind of keep it flat. But it worked out pretty well. The other thing that I was real pleased with is I picked up these Cathy's bags, and they're made for the each one of these panners. There's this one, there's a square one that goes in this one, and so I'm just kind of underneath all this stuff. But so yeah, it worked out really well. And this rear bag is kind of where I kept things like my my electric suit and things that I wanted to have access to while riding. Like this is a dry bag that I bought that I could kind of strap on to the side if I needed to keep some wet clothes or anything, or keep clothes or anything in there. Obviously, some kind of tie downs, a couple of rags, zip ties you can never be without, and more strap downs, and then a bike cover. I mean, I use this when I stopped overnight, just to cover the bike, just to kind of make the bike a little less interesting, and kind of let people keep weather off of it too if I was hitting any weather. And then finally the last Cathy's tank bag, which fits really nice. It's made for this. Each one of these is made for the different bags or the different panner boxes. So kind of what I learned is a couple of things. So you obviously want to wear, I used the stock seat, and I did about a little over 1,000 miles a day. And so seat comfort became an issue occasionally. So I wore biking seats, like 10-speed type bike seats underneath my clothes, and they have pads on them, and that really helped a lot. The other thing that I kind of learned was if you flip the passenger pegs down, then you can use them to like prop your feet up on. So you can kind of put your feet back on them. You can hook your top of your feet on them to kind of give you a different riding position. And that's kind of important on a long ride, is so you can change your riding position and things like that. So all in all, this is my new bike. I basically rode it, put the 600 miles on it, Went and took it to the dealer the day before I left, and had them you know, change the oil and do the 600-mile service. And then I got on the bike and rode over 2,000 miles down to Key West and back, and you know, spent a day in between to kind of rest and walk around a little bit. But really pleased with the bike, really pleased with the performance. Man, the cruise control really came in handy. Really like that. So anyway, that's it. Just my thoughts on doing long distance riding. Thanks, guys.